All right, folks, I think it's the 21st of November. It is a Saturday. It's about 40 degrees right now. Very little wind. It is sort of a typical fall day in Wisconsin. One thing about Wisconsin that a lot of people don't appreciate is the weather really rocks most of the time. We try to keep that a secret from the rest of the world because we like the fact that there aren't a lot of people here and that it's relatively inexpensive to live here. Relatively inexpensive. But today's just one of those videos where I'm going to spend 10-15 minutes going over the house, keep a record of what's going on, because that's the only way I'll remember what's going on. So a lot of progress was made last week, and I'll just start rambling. These cutouts are for around the pipes that you'll see in the back of the house, and they're a way of putting a nice color and template around any outlets so that the vinyl siding guys can have an easy time coming up square to it and putting on the J channel, etc. This is clearly the vinyl siding and more wood. This is one of the workbenches. This is where they've been painting stuff. So on the front of the house, you can see that we've got the granite gray perfection shingles. We've got the soffits and fascia done. We've got the trim around the door, needs some paint touch up. We've got the soffits in here around the lights, the can lights. The soffits around the outlets, which are at each pole, so that for Christmas decorations, etc., you have power. Looks pretty good. This is where they left off Friday with the vinyl siding. The electrician came on Friday and mounted the motion lights, which are on each corner. I've shown this before, but you notice that is a piece of wood, color the same as the soffits. The idea is to give a mounting surface, so as these lights fail, and they all fail after 5, 6, 7 years, is that when you screw in the new light, you're not screwing it into this metal soffit, because as I explained before, you end up with a surface that looks like it's had 22s fired at it all day long. So it's a way of protecting the surface, giving it a firm mounting spot. These wires coming out are actually for the cameras. They're Cat 6 cable. We've got cameras heading down that way. We've got one heading this way and one heading out towards the driveway. Yeah, there's a lot of security here, probably unnecessary, but it's easier to put it in now with the wiring and never use it than it is to not put it in and then wonder why we didn't put it in, because the cost of doing it after the fact is outrageous. It's still expensive to have it done anyway. This is the same concept, wood mounting plate, the aluminum soffits or cover, whatever you want to call it, and underneath is wood also. This is for one of the power over Ethernet cameras that looks down the porch. There's another one on the other end facing this way, so you have really good coverage. You have cameras on each corner that look out over the whole area, just as these corners do. And then you have one that looks just at the driveway. Some people don't really get a sense of how big the house is. It's about 4,000 square feet. Here's the painted wood that I showed earlier. The idea is that it surrounds each item that comes out. This is, I think, gas for the generator, natural gas. This is for the transfer switch, so you can hook up the generator. Obviously, electrical boxes. This is what they call a Smurf tube or a flexible tube, and it's designed for the internet, so that Spectrum, which is our provider out here, can just run the Cat 6 cable there. And this is a PVC pipe that is designed to allow the condensate from the heat pump to drip out. So we're just looking along the edge. It looks pretty good. You can see the soffits, which are the sort of this brown. And then you can see the wonderful granite gray siding, vinyl siding. Once again, this is, I think, an outlet for gas, or an inlet. Yeah, it's an inlet. It's the supply side. This is another for the heat pump. Drip there, or actually when it's in air conditioning mode, it drips because of the condensate. You can see another camera mounted on this corner with more Cat 6 cables for cameras. One camera, one power over Ethernet camera will go down this way. Another power over Ethernet camera will look this way. So you'll have lots of coverage in the whole area. There won't be a blind spot in this house. As we come around the corner, you can see that we now have another grounding cable here. And that was installed so that we can ground the TV antenna. Yes, you heard me right. I'm putting in a TV antenna. Who uses TV anymore? You can see the cable up there. Plus you can see the two RG6, which are the connections for TV antennas. And you can see two Cat 6 cables for cameras, etc. This is all future proofing. The reason you want grounding for the TV antenna is because it's going to be sitting right up at that peak of that roof, which is about 25 feet high. Obviously can be hit with lightning, but more importantly, you actually have to ground the RG6 cable, because static electricity can build up on an antenna over time, and that interferes with the quality of the signal. Now we are facing west. We are now facing north. And all the transmission towers, all the air TV, over the air TV is all located about 8 miles over there. And given the altitude of that antenna, it's gonna get a rockin' beautiful signal from the downtown Milwaukee TV stations. We're going along here, nothing special, more vinyl. This is the waiting lines for the heat pump cooling system. There we have a switch to turn off this equipment. We have an outlet, which is required by code. We have another drip line for air conditioning. This is the second bedroom. Those are the windows. Going around the corner, it's going to be more of the same, but I might as well just record it and tell you about it. Once again, another wood plate up there to provide a mounting surface for all of the cameras and the lights. We've got more Cat 6 cable. We have 3 of them. One for a camera down that way, one for a camera that way, and one for what's called a ubiquity antenna, which will be transmitting to my favoriteest neighbors over there. So if they need Wi-Fi, I will have a ubiquity antenna that can actually transmit Wi-Fi in a very collimated way. The antenna will actually go, I think, up to 6 kilometers, which is 3 or 4 miles. And it's secure, and it will go to their house if they want it. More vinyl siding, more soffit, more fascia, no gutters yet. This is the master bedroom facing south. This is the bathroom window. These are the lines for the septic system here. Right there, there's lines because you actually have a sensor that senses when the septic system is over full, and it will notify the people in the house that, hey, be careful, don't flush the toilet because it's gonna be overflowing. We have more, there's an outlet, drip line, gas line for the barbecue. Oh gosh, I wish I knew what some of this stuff was. I should, but I don't. And then we have the kitchen window. We have the griller's station. We have the patio door, which was destroyed about 2 weeks ago. We have the living room, another living room window. Come around the corner. Same setup as we had before. This wood has not been painted. so you can get a better idea of what the purpose of the wood is. Once again, 2 cameras, 1 camera running down that direction and 1 camera running towards the front. We have a camera which will do just the porch. That's the whole idea. And let me step back and show the entirety of the house. I've had a number of people say, hey, they don't really have a sense of how big the house is. Well, that's how big the house is. It's about, 60 feet wide, and I think about 70 or 80 feet long, roughly. Front door, we've already been past this. Now we're gonna walk inside. The garage has had a fair amount of work, and mainly in preparation for the foaming. You can see this light brown wood here, and that's called Luan. And its purpose is it's about 4 inches away from the ceiling where the shingles are. So you have an air space about 4 inches that allows it to be what's called a cold roof. So air can come in from the soffit, come up there and exit through the roof vents. What this is doing is it's providing a surface so when the spray foam is put in, that it gives it a good solid surface. Then the rest of the insulation will be blown in insulation. We need to have the spray foam in initially because we're going to do a thing called aero barrier, which is a heated liquefied caulk which seals every crevice. We obviously can't do that until the garage door is here. And this is El Garage, 6-car garage. There's the mini split head. We have 2 of them in the garage for heating and cooling. The garage floor is in-floor heating. So it will be a very comfortable space in the winter. And if it gets really hot and muggy and needs air conditioning, it'll be a very nice space in the summer. Although I don't expect to have to run the air conditioning via the mini splits very often. When it's necessary, it's gonna suck the moisture out. This is because of my wonderful sister-in-law, Barb. Her idea was to frame a garage door. Even though there isn't one there, obviously the window would have to be taken up, but there is a potential for a garage door. It's already got the header. It's got the power. That's the room for the water tank. This is the mechanical room. That's the access door into the attic for servicing. We have a storage surface up there. It's about 5 feet deep and about 15 feet long. So there's 100 square feet roughly of storage surface so that you can put lots of heavy stuff up there should you want to. This connection is for the dehumidifier. And I can't see it from here, but there are a number of pipes up there, which we can't, you can sort of see it over there. See if we can zoom in. And those are the exhaust and intake lines for things like the heater, etc. Mounting point for the TV. There's a number of Cat 6 cables, RG6, so that each TV can have antenna TV. We have power all along this wall. We come into the mudroom. I like the mudroom more and more. It's right next to the entrance from the garage, which there'll be a place where you can sit here, take your boots off, shoes, wash your clothes. There's a lot of counter space here, which will be obvious as time goes on. You walk into, actually it's the 3rd bedroom, it's sort of a guest bedroom, 36-inch wide door. This is where stuff that's coming in from the garage, projects, etc., you can just dump it in this room. It's out of sight, out of mind. It's a great way because if you look at most houses, you can see that people just have tons of stuff that they bring in. They're not going to take care of that day. So this is a huge room for projects, computers, and junk. And should I have guests, there'll be probably bunk beds here. Another mini split for air conditioning and cooling, even though the floor is in-floor heating with water. There may be a desk here, so there's Cat 6 cable for computers if you want it hardwired. This is the closet. And down at the end is the computer room. The closet's about 2 feet wide, but you can tell that obviously something's going on here. There's tons of cabling. So with my son's help, we'll set up some racks in here. We'll set up the computers, the security system, and it'll all be in this location. We walk through the 3rd bedroom into the mudroom. When you come in from the garage, obviously you have a very large closet because that's where you store stuff. There will also be another storage area right here. It's actually going to be an IKEA cabinet, or as I call them, the European. You come into what is a full bath here with a 6-foot tub. It's a foot longer than normal. Why did I do that? I have no idea. I'm 6 feet tall. It's unlikely that I'll be in the tub. Insulated, light for the mirror. We've got a vertical storage camera here, a vanity. It's a nice bathroom, and it gives you an access to a room that if you come in dirty from here, basically drop your clothes for the washer and dryer, you can head into a bathroom without dirtying the rest of the house. It really is a mudroom for me. Pocket door, 36 inches wide, 3 feet. You walk in, immediately to your right, there'll be a TV over there. There'll be a huge credenza going all this length, which is 10, 12 feet here, about this height. All the switches for the room are there. So this gives you plenty of place to store stuff. All the cabinets will have lights in them, which is why we have these extra outlets here to provide power for all the in-cabinet drawer lighting. We have all the control systems, the thermostats located on this wall. This is the art wall. Once again, there'll be a cabinet running along here. I suspect that I will get Gary Sigmund's cabinets that he built for my mom, because it's sort of a historical piece. You'll see them when I get there. It doesn't mean much to people now. This is the tube that brings in the internet, and we have a grounding wire. Oh, that's a nice touch. It's nice to have this room grounded. Don't know if it's necessary, but the electricians do good work. This is the entrance from the front. It's 6 by 6. There'll be a bench here. There'll be coat hooks there. People can come in from the outdoors, sit down with their muddy boots, etc., swap them over for bunny rabbit slippers. More controls for the room. Obviously small west-facing windows, because west windows, they don't serve any purpose except getting really hot in the room. TV, the windows that we saw from the outside, they will have blackout shades on them so that when you're in this room watching TV, for imagine a day like today, you want to watch a movie, you can actually black out the windows so that it doesn't cause reflection. Or if you have an OLED, OLEDs don't have a lot of brightness to them. They call it nits. Max an OLED can do is about 900 nits. And if you have too much light, you can wash out an OLED TV. It doesn't really hurt an LED TV, but it does hurt an OLED. You can see the sundial. It's around noon now, so you can see how far the light is slowly encroaching into the room. As I've mentioned before, the overhang here on the outside is 2 feet. So in June, July, and August, there'll be no light coming in. There'll be nothing on the floor. This is the patio door. That is what we call the griller station. This is where the griller sits and watches the grill that will be on the patio that will be installed next year. This is where the peninsula is going to be, right here, about 15 feet long. Kitchen sink, oven, microwave, refrigerator. It'll be nice. These are coarse backing boards, blocks they call them, and that's for future grab bars in the bathroom. We come around here, we come down the hallway. There'll be a huge pantry right here. It will go approximately from here all the way to there. It'll be about 2 feet deep. It will go up 8 feet like this. It's going to be a monster, trust me. I will never fill it, but it will look impressive. All the drawers are lit. We've got the hallway. I tried to minimize the size of the hallway. I look at hallways as being necessary evils. What do you do with that space? It's 4 feet wide. It's what, 15 feet long? That's just walkway. There'll be LED lights running all the way here. As previously mentioned, there'll be LED lights. There'll be 3 zones so that each LED light zone can be controlled independent from the other. It's gonna go all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, so that you can have different lighting for the kitchen, different lighting for the living room. The hallway is gonna be on the same circuit as the kitchen. You walk in, obviously this is one bathroom. You immediately turn to your right. This is the master bath. There'll be a closet there. There'll be a huge LED lit mirror here, vanity. There is the walk-in shower. It's 4 feet wide, 6 feet deep. You saw all the previous blocking boards, backing boards, and that's made for the potential for putting in grab bars, because old people need grab bars. People who have hip surgery need grab bars. People who've had belly surgery and have just come back from the hospital. They're weak. They like to shower. So they can take their hand, grab the grab bar and feel secure, step into the shower and go la-di-da-di-da-di-da, I'm showering. And then they have a number of grab bars here, which we've seen in future videos, so that as they're standing here enjoying all that warm water that's coming down on them, they feel secure. This is the other wall. Half of it will be tiled, half will be glass. We have the air intake for the heat recovery ventilator, which is right there, and that will suck out the moisture. That's the light. We immediately step over. Here's the toilet. It will have a bidet. It's already wired and plumbed for a bidet. We walk into the master bedroom. Once again, not a big bedroom. I've already said, I don't see why people have bedrooms that are 1,000 square feet. Nobody uses them. I've seen people who have, they have tables and they have a couple of chairs. And I say, why do you have that? And they say, well, it's so we can have coffee there in the morning. Who the hell has coffee in the morning in their bedroom? Nobody does, but they all have it because it's kind of cool to have, and I get it. But I need a king-size bed. I need a TV mounted on that wall. I need some place to put my clothes, which is the walk-in closet here with a pocket door, because I'm not closing my door. It's just not happening. The door is going to open. I'm going to come in and out of this place to get my hanging clothes, etc. There'll be horizontal LED lighting here so that it will minimize the shadows. We walk out of here and we immediately turn right into the hallway, and this is the tornado room. So master bedroom, second bedroom. If there's a tornado, you don't want to have to be running, for 300 feet to get into a tornado room. You want to be asleep, wake up, walk into the 8-inch cement tornado room and feel secure. There'll be double doors as discussed earlier. One will be an inner security door. The other will be a triple outdoor interior door. You walk into this room. I love pointing out that code requires an outlet within 6 feet of an opening. That outlet will probably never be used because I'm going to have one of those automatic robotic vacuums. So I'm never getting a vacuum in my hand. There's the switch to come in, blah, 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 the lights. The head of the bed will be here. This is a smaller room. So this will probably have a full queen in it. There'll be TV there for guests. There'll be blackout shades on these windows, as there will be blackout shades on those windows. So if somebody wants to sleep in late, they're in a corner of the house. They don't have to listen to the noise of a number of things. They don't have to listen to the noise of the street, which is out in that area. The kitchen is pretty far away. It's a good 20, 25 feet away. It's at the back end of the house. Obviously, that's a big concrete wall, so no noise is coming through this. This will be insulated with spray foam, so that's the garage wall on the back side of the garage. So they won't be hearing cars starting. There's this huge walk-in closet, which will provide a buffer for sound. And this is the mechanical room. It will have its own door. Boy, is it dark in here. But this is where all the mechanicals will be located. The shower, obviously, for somebody who's not in this bedroom, is going to be where we're there, so they don't have to listen to the shower starting and people singing, because I just sing in the shower all the time. I mean, I've been told I have a really good shower voice. No, nobody's told me that. That's complete horse baloney, but I always like to see how many people believe the stories when I tell them. You notice how the ceiling's just been drywalled, but not the walls. Once again, we have 2 inches of spray foam that's going to go up on the top there. It's going to seal the lid. Then the people with the aero barrier will come in and seal this place with the vaporized heated caulk. They'll be sealing this area in here, the entire living space. Then they will come out here and probably be running the vaporizers, the caulk vaporizers in this spot and sealing the entire area once again. So there'll be no air loss based upon cracks in the wall. There'll have to be a garage door there, which will be sealed. Hopefully I'll get some video of aero barrier being done. It's a pretty amazing technology. It's not cheap. Don't get me wrong. It's about $1 a square foot. But given the comfort it will give to a living space and the reduction in air leaks, well worth it. And it's always, everybody builds a house and says the following words: this is going to be the last house I ever build. Well, there's a pretty good chance this will be the last house that I ever build that I'm going to be living in. There's no reason not to exploit every bit of technology that's available when you can do it. Better to spend it now on the electrical, the insulation, than to suddenly say, oh man, I really like where I live, and I do. I live on 18 acres. I wish I had installed a computer closet. Oh, I wish I had insulated more. I wish I had done this. Well, if you don't know what your future is going to be, obviously build cheap, just get it done. But if you know that you like the area, you like the people, then do it right. And don't get weird about the cost. I mean, I know people that have cars that are worth 50, 60 grand, and they're making payments that are outrageous. And they can justify that. Get a cheap ass car, build a nice house, pay off your mortgage, and then start with the money you save to buy newer cars. Or don't buy new cars, buy used cars. So just a view of the great outdoors. Well, there you go. There's the little Prius sitting there waiting for me patiently. I do like that Prius. But it is a wonderful day out here. Typical Midwest day in the fall. But don't tell anybody. It's going to be our little secret. Don't tell them that the Midwest is nice, because then we'll have all those nut jobs from the rest of the country, the 2 coasts, coming to live here because they want the quality of life. They'll just screw it up. That's what they do anyway. Look at California, Washington, Oregon. They screw it up. I mean, just that's the way it is. Sorry if I hurt somebody's feelings who live in Washington State, but realize I lived in Washington State for a long time. I've lived in California for years. I've spent time on the East Coast. So I'm not just pulling this stuff out of my butt. I've actually lived there and seen what it's like. And I've lived in the Midwest. Okay, so this will be a fun house. This is the space where I'm going to keep kids. Should there be visiting kids, it's going to be heated, cooled. There's going to be a TV. There'll be plenty of room, so if they decide they want to run their little tricycles around or throw a basketball up into a hoop on that area, knock themselves out. Go for it. It can be the middle of freaking February, and they can come out here and act like it's 55 degrees, because that's going to be the temperature in here. It can be minus 20 degrees outside. It'll be 50 in here, and they can just go nuts. Just back a few cars out into the driveway, clean up the space. If they make a mess, well, there's hot and cold running water on this wall. It's ready to be plumbed in, but they have to actually cut the drywall and put the hose bib there. And there's a drain. So if there's something to clean up in the middle of January, you take the hot and cold water, you wash down the space, the water goes down the drain, drains out the side of the house, It dries. It's winter in Wisconsin, so it's really dry here. There's no moisture in the air. And that's life. So hopefully this record helps a little bit. I know it's going to help me because it'll help document what's been done, when it's been done, how far along we are, all that cool stuff. And life is good. I hope you're having a great Saturday. I know my friends in Washington State, I think it's raining. In California, I think you had a curfew. I think wonderful Gavin Newsom decided you needed a curfew. I think that's what they're doing. And of course, they're trying to destroy Thanksgiving because anything that even smacks of fun or tradition or religion or individual freedoms, the West Coast does not like the concept of personal freedom. They like to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, if you're doing it correctly. If it's what we call right think in the leftist mode. But thank goodness in Wisconsin, the state Supreme Court slapped down our governor, our nut job. I consider him a nut job, clearly unqualified, and said you can't do that without getting permission from the legislative branch. I know they're trying to do the same thing in California, but hey, it's California. They deserve what they get. They vote for stupid people, they get stupid results. Same thing in Washington State. And I'm sorry if there's haters out there and who think that Governor Inslee is a wonderful person and Governor Newsom is a wonderful person. You're out of your mind. Look at, I'm going political now, so you can just turn off the video. Look at the fact that they've been doing this tyrannical bully approach to COVID-19, which of course is just the flu. Let's remember that. It's not some special virus, it's the flu. And after 8-9 months of tyranny, they're even doubling down on it. Oh, you'd think that everything they had to do, the masks that need to be worn and the social distancing and shutting down churches and gyms and making people follow all these arbitrary undocumented rules would somehow make a difference. It hasn't made one difference at all. You look at a state like Florida, which people get to go outside, go to restaurants, do what they want. They're doing it better than Washington and California. It's an interesting thing. That's sort of why I like the Midwest. We get to do what the heck we want, as a rule. Obviously, it's not chaos. So I've had my rant. This is for me just documenting the process of how this house is being built, sharing with those of you who are interested, and enjoying life. Because this day rocks. It's 40 degrees. I just picked up the tile for the shower. I've already picked up the flooring for the house. Yeah, it's all good. So have a good time. Enjoy the day. If I've annoyed you because of my comments, I will not do it again. I just am tired of being bullied by tyrannical leaders that don't know their butts from a hole in the ground. So, love you all. Have a good time. And I will talk to you later. Bye.